That's on the table. Oh God, the podcast always starts when we're like cracking jokes. Hi, it's Charlotte Pierce here. I'm the producer of Indie Office Hours, and we are so informal today. I just got back from rowing, so I didn't dress up like Laura did. But Laura's here too. She's the co-host and the head of the Supreme Goddess at Good Inklings, and is a really experienced at Pinterest. She's studied it studied the whatchamacallit out of it, and has a very successful Pinterest set of Pinterest boards herself. And we are expecting our special guest John Creamer to join. Hopefully he'll get over here a little bit later in the show. So we're going to go for about 30 minutes. Laura and I are probably familiar to you, but I'm an independent publisher in the New England area, and I'm also the co-president of Independent Publishers of New England. This show is one of my passions because I love to connect with people in this field and to get information out there. We're all in it together, really, and collaboration is the new competition, as David Amerlin would say. Laura, you want to just give your elevator speech, and then we'll dive right into Pinterest.
Absolutely. I'm a content writer and marketer, and I also do social media consulting. I have the Writing Biz show on Wednesday nights at 7:30 that helps writers with their business, and that's been going very well. Thanks to everybody for their support. And that's about it for me.
And your lower third is lurking down there somewhere.
I will get it up while you lead us into this.
Okay, good. I'm going to screen share Linda or Laura. Whatever. Who are you? Laura's Pinterest board, because it's so very cool. And as she said, she's a freelance writer, graphic design, and social media. So there's the profile blurb. This is kind of like, isn't this sort of the latest block of people who have pinned, or the people that you're connected with, or what is this? This pins from?
No, each of those boards. You mean as far as the boards themselves?
No, the one up on the right. I'm screen sharing.
Yeah, that's people that I have pinned from, recently pinned from. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay, you have pinned their stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So you have 31 boards. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And
it's been moving right along. The interesting thing is I find that a lot of my website traffic comes from my Pinterest boards.
Right.
So that is really, really helpful.
Well, tell me, first of all, why don't we, if people are watching that don't know Pinterest from a hole in the ground, or don't know how to use it and why they should use it, how would you answer that?
I'm going to answer that from a writer standpoint, because I think that'll fit into the context of what we're doing more. But what Pinterest is really, really a good social marketing platform for writers. It can begin in the beginning as you could do your boards. You could start a board privately or several boards privately, depending on how many you need, that you can start doing your research for your projects in. You just throw anything that you find in there. You get the little pin it button on your browser, and you just pin any articles, pictures, anything that you could find, that you need for research for your book. You can pin it right into Pinterest and hold on to it there. And then, if you choose to, you can take pins out of there and release them onto more public boards, as a later date.
So you just join, you get an account, right? And you
which is really easy.
Facebook or Google login?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So here we are. We're going to pin this show on Pinterest. So it opens up a little, because this is because I have a bookmark list, I think. But I'm going to put this on the independent publishing board that I have.
Now, before you do that, let me make some suggestions in that description.
Okay.
When I do my descriptions, I describe like this particular show, I'll put in a description of the show. If it's an article from somebody, I go ahead and tell who wrote the article, what it's about. I try to make my descriptions descriptive. And then I add hashtags that are relevant to it, even though Pinterest doesn't quite use hashtags yet. When they do, mine will already all be done. I don't have to go back through hundreds of pins and add hashtags. So I add hashtags that are relevant.
What should I use in this?
Pinterest marketing.
Okay. How many should I use?
I usually, it depends. I'll do anywhere from 2 to 5. Also, I heard the suggestion somewhere, so I just do it because I heard it. I put pinned by, and then I put my website, or if it's a repin, okay, I put repinned by, and then put my website. You know, it's just different ways to get your information.
So is this a good format?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Exactly.
And then should I post to Facebook and Twitter, or is that going to put it somewhere where I don't want it?
I don't usually, I tell you, personally, I don't usually post to anything because I do that in different ways. It depends on what it is.
I've gone back to my Pinterest or my Facebook page for IPNE or DayTripper Books, and I've seen like all these duplicated.
Right.
So if you do that, you have to kind of know what's being automatically posted.
Well, see, I use Hootsuite, and I do all my posting through there, so I just keep my Pinterest separate because it doesn't, it's not integrated with Hootsuite. That's
so
just
could I go through Hootsuite? I can't go through Hootsuite when I do it this way, right?
No.
No. Okay.
All right. That would take the fun out of it, anyways.
Yeah. I know. Really. The cool thing about Google Plus is that any photo on Google Plus will have this little Pinterest thing on it. They have a collaborative.
How helpful is that? Mm-hmm.
It's very helpful because look, you can go to anything in your stream. I could go to my rowing picture and pin it, which I probably have because I love rowing so much. And here's a thing about poo, and is there any copyright issue on this, Laura, or is it all kind of because you're sharing something that someone's already posted? Is it their responsibility?
I'm real unclear on that. So I do it the same way that you would source anything else. I quote the source that I get it from.
Yeah. I've never heard of anybody having a problem with that.
Yeah, I just make sure to give my source that I got it from. I don't just randomly pin other people's stuff up as my own pins.
Right.
I do it, and that's one reason I do repinned by good ink things like that.
If I did Mike Alton's pin, keep calm and I don't know, fly casual, I would then should put repinned from so and so, repinned from Yeah. Should I put his website?
Or just put repinned via. I would just put via.
Iva. So, what is
One thing about Pinterest, Pinterest is not like Twitter where you almost have to learn a whole new language to be able to use it. It's pretty intuitive, and like I was saying, I use it for marketing, so I do it a little bit differently. For example, I don't know if you want to pull it up. If you want to, that's fine, Charlotte. But I have boards that I do for a local political figure. So every every topic that's of interest to him, whether it's the environment or veterans, each has its own board. So as I find information, it's Dave Kohler. You can just put it in search, and that's with a K, K-O-L-L-E-R.
Oh, so you just do his boards?
Yeah. You could just put it in the search. It should come right up.
Okay, so I'll get that up here in a second, hopefully. And then we'll talk about see how
it says pins, boards and pinners, go to pinners.
Okay. And then it'll show you somewhere.
Yeah, the one on the left.
This one?
One on the left, yeah. Yep. That would be him.
So we'll follow him, or I'll follow him. A Florida politician.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then my board, let's talk a little bit about publishers.
Okay.
and how they can use it. I have several lives in publishing. One of them is as an advocate and co-president of IPNE, the Independent Publishers of New England.
Right.
So most things of general publishing interest I will put on this board. Oh, ta-da, we have a new map. They have maps. Okay.
I haven't done much with the maps. I just haven't had any use to, because is all over. It's not local, so.
Can I delete the map? I don't want. It's taking up a lot of real estate. Oh, there.
I don't know. There's got to be a way to close it. Like I said, I really don't do anything with it.
Yeah, I mean it's like maybe I did something and I shouldn't have. I guess I could. Okay, so general interest for publishing. I also put some of my book covers on here.
Right.
I put things that we post for indie office hours. This is something
I do too most of the time. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I have this plug-in on my computer that expands photos, so that's kind of cool for the screen sharing. This is a picture of me and one of our members of the Metro Boston group. You can put a photo in and a caption on it. This is one of Kathleen Colvin's. The way she builds an author platform has really impressed me, and so I pinned
She's going to write an article for me for my community.
She's going to write what?
An article. She's going to post an article on how she does that for my community.
Oh, excellent! Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Here's me looking adoringly at Eric Engvet.
Who would?
I love this one. He had this really straight-laced photo, and they said, "Look like you're having fun." So I just looked up at them. This is Margot Zalkin Mayer. She's the wife of Archer Mayer, the novelist, and she gave a presentation on book trailers and at our IPNE conference. There's another picture from our IPNE conference. So everything is visual, right, Laura?
Oh yeah, and this is the thing about Pinterest. You can use it on so many different things. Let's say, you know, I'm a graphic designer too, so if I have somebody who's interested in having a website done and they're not really sure what they do, I'll ask if they have Pinterest, and I'll say, just throw it everything that you find that you're interested in your site looking like, and just throw it into a board, and that way I can go through and look at all the different projects that you found and get a feel for what you're looking for. So.
Yeah, and I think we may have.
Yes.
We may have our special guest. Do you need some coffee, John? Do you want to give yourself a couple seconds and let us know when you're ready to join?
I'm trying to get the video to work, and for some reason it's audio.
Okay, we're going to mute you until you're ready, okay?
Yep.
Sometimes
it just takes a minute. If you have too much of a problem with it, John, just go out and then come back in, and it'll usually correct itself.
Yeah, I should have. I was trying to reach you because we usually start up about 30 to 20 minutes before.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I just couldn't figure it out.
Run through the tech. Yeah. Okay, now I was going to go back to some of the other boards I have related to publishing while John gets ready. I also have this Coffee House Concerts is one of my lives. Things I love is like good jokes, cool photos. DayTripper Diva is the things related to day trips. Day trippers are one of my book series that I publish, and I just love this. Never get ignored in traffic again. It's oh, you can't see it. I'm not sure. But I love it. Isn't that cool? It's a bike with a chainsaw.
That's funny. One of the things about book marketing with Pinterest is that you don't want to just think about your graphics, so in other words, your logo or your book covers or anything like that. You want to make a really, really broad, interesting presence that people want to get involved with, that are interested in. So taking Kathleen Colvin as a example. She
Yeah.
posts a lot on ancient Rome and women's place in ancient Rome because she writes fiction that is in ancient Rome. So she can do full boards on that. With not only is it a good research tool for her, but she can share those pins with you know, all her followers. That's how you really build the traction. If you're just putting up pictures of your book cover or things directly related to the sale of your book, you're not going to get any traction. Think of it as, you know, have fun with it and be broader about it.
Exactly. I think maybe you can answer this question from Tortoise, the co-president of IPNE, along with me. What types of publishers should be sure to use Pinterest?
I would answer that
anybody who's trying to get awareness of something that they produce. Yeah.
Because I mean, even if you're doing it from a publisher standpoint, if you wanted to do pins about the history of publishing or interesting articles that you find about publishing, just to build you know, a relationship with other publishers, you can use it that way. And it's a great way to bring all your social media kind of together with Pinterest, because you could take that Pinterest post and put it out to other pieces of social media, or bring other pieces of social media's posts into Pinterest. It's very intuitive to be able to do that.
And so what happens when you post something on Pinterest? I mean, for example, what if a bridge engineer wrote a book about how to build bridges, and you know, that's fairly dry stuff probably, unless you're driving across a bridge and you're wondering if it's going to fall in. But
it depends on how you look at it. You could do bridges. You could do a board with bridges around the world. You could do a board on the history of bridge building, which is actually really fascinating stuff.
It is, and Kathleen could put in some comments on that.
Yeah, I mean, you could, if you just sit down and think, I mean, really take some time to quiet your mind and think about how you can utilize Pinterest in a broader sense with your business. Just like I would put up, let me see, well, my Good Inklings. That's my actual business site. So I would put up anything that has to do with graphic design, content writing, content marketing, anything that is either going to broaden my range with people that I want to have a relationship with as a peer, or broaden my relationship enough to get clients through it, and also to give my clients something that I could say, this is what I can do for you. So you have to really kind of sit back and define what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, and I also use it kind of to organize my mind. I like your phrase,
that's
quiet
a great
your
idea.
mind.
Yeah, that's a great idea, though.
Because I have so many things that I'm interested in that it you know, if I don't have a place to organize it, it undermines my concentration. So this helps, you know, if I have something related to this Peeragogy handbook that we published, then I can put it here, you know. And I mean, there's any number of platforms that you can use for this purpose. But so let me ask you another thing. What happens when you pin something? Why pin it? What are you trying to get other people to repin it, or what?
Both. I mean, I think for me, it's a personal thing, and to get other people to repin it. Of course, I want other people to repin it. But at the same time, like I said, it's a good place for me to store information and use for that. So I would think it goes both ways, honestly. You know, like back years ago when Pinterest first started to get popular, I was in a whole different realm of what I was doing for a career. So then I just used it personal. I used it for, you know, food, clothing, different activities with the kids and things like that. But
now let's yeah, I agree. I didn't know it had been around that long. We can take John just on video, on audio. I think that's probably the best way to do it. And
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just great. Yeah.
I don't know why I can't get my video to work.
That's okay, John.
That's fine. We will have you back so we can see your lovely face.
Yeah. Well.
Tell us a little bit about why you feel like Pinterest is good for book marketing.
primarily because it's such an incredible driver of traffic. It
Mm-hmm.
drives, I've had over 180,000 views from Pinterest in the last year and a half. Visitors come to the website and actually interact with the website that I've been driving traffic to.
So they see it on Pinterest, and they come and visit your website by clicking on your link up there, the
No,
bookmarket.com.
they come directly from different pins that I do.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I wish I could show you some things. I don't know why.
Well, I've got your Pinterest board up on the screen share right now.
Yeah, that's
So I have book marketing tips, infographic a day, typographics, great quotations as graphics. Is this your main board?
my main
Yeah.
board is probably right now the Fitness Matters board.
Okay. And what is
Uh,
Fitness Matters about? Is that a book you wrote, or?
no, it's all about fitness, and it's something I sort of just fell into because of some of the posts that I did about books.
Uh-huh.
And I developed a big followership of people that like things on fitness. So I do a lot of things on motivation, great quotes. So a lot of the things that I share are quotes, such as that one that you just picked up there. But some of my biggest traffic drivers have been one pin that I did on Bob Harper of the Biggest Losers called The Skinny Rules. And that particular image has been seen 1.4 million times, has been repinned 1.4 million times.
Well,
Uh, that one right
wow.
down there in the lower middle is the one that's mine.
Oh,
Do you
okay. Well,
create your own graphics?
I created my own graphic based on the skinny rules. And as you can see, the skinny rules over the entire Pinterest is very, very popular. Um, and that's
let me
not my
get it to my
particular
Life
pin.
Essentials board.
Yeah, but you could see that that person has had it. They repinned it, and I think I had 972 repins of their repin of me.
Mm-hmm. So do you find that this has resulted in
But
increased sales for your own site?
that one graphic has taken 125,000 people to my infographic a day site, which is one of my websites.
Mm-hmm. And now you have a course that you've developed about Pinterest, is that correct?
Yes, and if people wanted to see more about it, there's a replay that you can see the webinar where you can actually, well, no, you still can't see me because uh, we did screen grabs there. Um, but it's at danielhallwebinars.com/pin replay.
Is it on your Pinterest as well, or?
Not that link, sorry. Um,
Okay. It's go again. What's it called? Daniel.
danielhallwebinars.com/pin replay. Daniel's the one who did it with me, and he's a lawyer and an entrepreneur and things like
Oh.
that. And that's the replay of our webinar on the subject. Uh, we go in for about an hour telling you why to use Pinterest. Pinterest is it's still the fastest growing social network out there. It has 10 million active users on any day, and 80% of the activity on Pinterest is repins. That means people choose to like the things and share the things that they like. Most of the time they see it on their own Pinterest timeline, but they can also discover things by the people that they follow, which again it shows up on their timeline, or
Mm-hmm.
through the Pinterest also has special interest boards. If you go to the top left of those three uh, horizontal lines are in this little square, you'll see
Oh,
all the different things that Pinterest
right.
shares. And if your particular pin hits one of those top boards, on any day, you're going to find a lot of traffic coming to your website and to your pin. You're going to get repinned a lot if you get showcased in any of those.
So what's the best strategy for targeting that list? I mean, is that a hashtag or a?
A hashtag might help, but it's mainly sharing some good things and
Hmm.
finding a few followers that are very active. And if they reshare it, you're going to be featured. Your pin's going to be featured there.
You
Yeah.
know what's interesting too
That
about,
happened. Oh, sorry.
I'm
Uh,
sorry.
what did you want to ask?
No, I was going to say sometimes one of the things that's very interesting about Pinterest is that they have the highest statistic for people who spend money, who buy something through Pinterest. It's like
Hmm.
54 to 58%. So particularly if you are uh, trying to sell a book, if you do it properly, it's a great place to do that.
Yeah, I
Yes.
noticed that there. I think it was Dustin Stout made. No, who was it that he has like 1 million Twitter followers or Pinterest followers, and
That
he
might be
started
it.
out. You think it's
I know.
Dustin Stout?
I don't know. I might be
Anyway, he did
trying
it
to
with
see.
photographs, because he goes around a lot of different places and just takes great photographs and all
That's
over the
one of the
world.
things that people like on Pinterest is beautiful places, beautiful photographs. Another thing they like is quotes. They share quotes very virally. Again, the quote has to be in a graphic format. And
Right.
then I talk about the 6 F's that are very popular. These are things like food. Food is the most popular thing that's pinned on Pinterest. Fitness, which is one of the categories that I got very hot in. Um, family, fashion, and as you can see, these are all women-centric. Fun or funny. They love to
Mhm.
share things that are funny, and then they also love things with what I call fidal and feline, cute animals, funny animals, things like that. And those are 6 of the hot topics, so I call them the 6 F's: food, fashion, fitness, funny, family, and fidal feline.
It's
And
going to be
and
interesting to see how that changes with so many people using it for business um, now. I mean, the growth in Pinterest I would even say the last year for people that are using it for business has been remarkable.
Yes, but the thing is that the one thing that people are doing who are Pinterest, using it for business is they forget that Pinterest is built on sharing and repinning, and a lot of them just don't get that idea. So one thing, it used to be 80%, 90%
Right.
women on Pinterest, and now it's about 60-40.
Yeah.
So there are many more men, and they're trying to use it for business, but they're forgetting that to share anything, 95% of my repins, probably 99%, are from women.
Yeah, I would think that's true of a lot of social media. You know, people get started on something and they just don't follow through with it. I don't know if you ever saw that show that uh, Mike Alton and Jeff C. and a few other guys, Stephen Hovanian, did on Real Men of Pinterest. If you get a chance to look at their boards, it was awesome. But they had so many men that were not interested just in the business aspect. There were some that would do their boards on automotive, on motorcycles, on vacation. It was really interesting to see how
Yeah.
these lights would come on in their heads, and they're like, well, I never thought I could use it like that. So it
Mhm.
was pretty interesting.
And
And
for
some
men,
men are just
it's something like, grilling would be more interesting for food than
Exactly.
smoothie or something
Exactly.
like that. So there are places where men are very active. Automotive pins are very popular among men, and some things like that. But it's still very much, in my experience, at least for me, and maybe that's because I'm half woman or something, I don't know. It's the women that share me, it's not the men. I get very few shares from men. And these are some of my recent pins, I guess you're playing with right now. A lot of those are repins from somebody else. Some are pins from some of my other websites, I just got into moon photos recently, so I created a board for that.
Yeah, I
Um,
think I saw that. It's a great idea. A lot of people do clouds.
well,
Yeah.
and one of my big, I've shared, I think, what is it, 12 to 1500 sunsets. I love sunsets and the photos of them. So, those are some of the things that I share often or repin. Again, beautiful things like the church there that you see, and again, sunsets. I love those. But the thing that on a normal day that I'm sharing is quotes.
Mhm.
John, let me ask.
I have found for book authors there are two things that really work in terms of driving traffic. Most of what you're seeing on my board right now, it's not going to drive traffic to me because there are a lot of repins.
Let me ask
The
you a
thing-
question. Charlotte
Sure.
asked me earlier. What about copyrights? How do you handle that? I told her that I always make sure to write in the description where I had found the pen. So via whatever. I always try to make sure I cite a source for it. How do you do
Well,
that with doing so many of other people's photos and things?
Well, when you're repinning the link that that person shared that goes to the original source goes with the image unless you change it. So you're already crediting people. And Daniel, who's an attorney, has looked at the Pinterest
Mhm.
terms of service, and one of the things that Pinterest terms of service says is that you have absolute right to repin anything else you find on Pinterest
Okay. All right,
Mhm.
that answered that. Good. Okay.
and
That's good.
modify it and share it again. So the terms of service, if you actually look at them, give you full legal right to repin anything. When you join Pinterest, you're saying anything I pin can be shared by other people and can be changed.
And
And
where's like if I pin this herbs thing, where is the link on that? Is that
you don't see it
embedded?
until you pin it.
Yeah, then
Oh,
it's at the
okay.
bottom of the.
No, you can add a link in the description if you want, but that's actually kind of amateurish. It
Oh,
looks highly promotional if you keep sharing links there. But if you share a link and then you go to edit, that little pencil up in the right corner of your
okay.
image that you shared, you
Yep.
can see the link that goes with it.
Oh, okay.
Right down there, the source is my website.
Yeah.
Yep. Infographic a day. Okay.
And then, of
Great.
course, right there, when you edit it, you could link to your own website, but 98% of people keep the link that's with the image.
Right.
Because people can find you by just going to your own profile, right? If they want to.
Do what? I didn't hear that.
If so, say you have a pin they like, and they say, I want to, I see lots of good stuff. I want to know who this person is. Then I can go to up to
You
your link
You can
on your
go to the
profile.
person, yes,
Yeah.
and you can go find out. I link to
Mhm.
one of my websites
Mhm.
and bookmarket.com, and so that's where my profile links to. But
Yeah.
most of my images actually linked to several of the other websites, the book marketing bestsellers, my incredible website, and Infographic a Day, all of which
Mhm.
get a lot of traffic from Pinterest because I'm pinning images from those websites
So
almost
did
every
you
day.
do this herbs that heal?
No, that's
Did you
one
get?
that I found on Pinterest. I liked
I
it.
see.
It went with my fitness focus. I thought the people
Right.
that follow me for fitness would like it. So
Yeah.
what I did is I took the image, I uploaded it to my website, and pinned it from there.
Great. Yeah. And then, um,
And I'm not
And when
sure, I can't
when you do
remember.
that, don't you have to cite the original source when you're sharing it like that?
No, you don't. Not under Pinterest terms of service.
Okay.
Now, what I always try to
I
do, if
thought
I
once you
know,
took it
if
out and put it through something else, you did, but
yeah.
if I
I'm not
know
an
the
attorney. So.
if I know the resource, if I know where the original source is, I do share it. In this particular case, there's some little credits there at the bottom, but you can't read them. So I don't know the original source of that image,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
and
I
so
had a
I can't share it. I can't, there's nowhere I can
Mhm.
go with it. Uh, and the person where I found it did not share the original source. So again, I never found who had that source.
I have another question for you. Charlotte and I were talking about the description, and I mean, in the description, I have been told from like several Pinterest experts, like Cynthia Sanchez and Rebecca Radice, and I mean, but several, and they said to go ahead and put hashtags in because Pinterest is looking into being able to use hashtags in their system. That way, you don't have to go back through hundreds of pins and add hashtags. What have you found with that?
I don't add hashtags to my description. I guess I could. I do add hashtags to the pins because that really does help people find your pins.
Right.
So and Pinterest is very good at helping people find what they're interested in based on hashtags. But they also use simply the description of the pin as well. So there's multiple ways that Pinterest will allow people to search and find what they're interested in.
And here's a cool thing I found that I pinned this event, and it has a video player in it.
Yep.
Yes.
So you can actually watch us watching ourselves.
The thing that I found is that it seems to be that they only so far do YouTube.
Yeah.
If you pin a video that you put up on your own website, that will not come through as a video on Pinterest.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
But
That is true.
And
if it's a YouTube
beautiful
video,
sorry.
If it's a YouTube video that you pin from your website, it will show up, but it will be credited to YouTube, and the link will go to YouTube. It won't go to your website, which is the only time that when you pin an image from your website that it doesn't attach the link to the page on the website. What I do in most cases is I do go back and edit it. The YouTube video still plays, but I edit the link so it goes back to my website, the original source.
Here's the way I get around that is I wait until I have a blog post written with a video in it, and then I pin the blog post, and the video will go back to YouTube if they click on the video, but when they click on the Pinterest link to go to the blog post, it goes to my website. Does that make sense? So it goes to my website first, then they click on the video, it goes to YouTube, which is fine with me.
And if you have a channel, it's all kind of integrated with your profile there. Here's a question from Tortoise. You're going to drive loads of new people to your website or websites, as she said later, because John seems to have several and I have several. Make sure your site says what you wanted to say about you and what you have to offer. Well, duh. Yeah, I mean that's goes along with making sure your profile on all your social media is up to snuff.
Well,
accurate.
You want a sense of continuity. You want to be recognizable really on every platform as that one thing. I mean, you don't want to, have different bios and different profile pics in 20 different places. Yeah, you do try to. I try to keep everything as continuous as possible.
Yeah. I just love Pinterest, just like the organizational structure of it. It just seems, and we're going to have to wrap up here in a minute, but I was going to go back to yours, Laura. It's well organized, well thought out. Just your eye can land wherever it is attracted, and then you look up and see the details. So.
And you can see in hers that she's chosen what would go on the top, and that's one of the neat things about Pinterest is that you can really help people focus on what you want them to focus on when they come to you.
Absolutely.
And
you can put it as a favorite or something, or what?
Well, you can move the boards around, and so you put the ones on top that you want people to first see and notice and possibly join. Because when you follow somebody, you can either follow all of their pins, or you can follow only follow all their boards, or you can follow select ones. So you want to make sure the ones that you really want them to follow are on the top of the page.
Exactly.
And is that in your settings?
Oh, you can just drag them, I
No,
believe.
you just go to your boards. If you click on your 17 boards over there on the left,
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I see the boards. Yeah, not the
Yep.
pins.
yes, now you can
Okay.
move the boards around.
Yeah, you just grab them and drag them.
Oh, so I then. Oh,
Yep.
I can't move it to the creative board, of course. Yeah.
No.
All right.
No, but you
So
can
then
move
if
them
I.
around. You can move them up and down and so on and so forth. And one of the key things you have to do as a Pinterest user is make sure that your page, the boards, are arranged the way you want them. And I saw that Laura did that.
Yeah.
And
I'll make sure to post some information too, because we don't have time to go through it on shared boards and also on group boards.
And there's also
They can
something
be-
on invisible boards, right? Or secret
Those
boards.
secret boards. Mhm.
Yeah. Well,
And the
listen
main-
up, John. It's been great having you. I'm sorry that you had tech trouble, but well, I mean, there's nothing to be said really in half an hour except an introduction. So we will revisit this topic, and I'm glad I found you in that controversial stream about Facebook versus Google Plus.
It'll be very helpful.
Well, I found that so silly because Pinterest really does for several of my websites drives something like 60 to 80% of the traffic, much more so than Facebook and so on. People really that are on Pinterest are much more likely to click through to the website than they. And the neat thing about Pinterest is that your images stick around for more than 5 seconds or 1 week.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
I
very
had
green.
people
Yeah, that's
discover
a good
things.
point.
The one that Bob Harper won, I originally pinned a year and a half ago, and
And it's still alive.
it still gets like 4,000 repins
Yeah.
a week.
And you could go back to your old like YouTube videos and repin them or whatever. You could
And that's one
recycle a
thing
lot of
that
content.
I really like about Pinterest is it's forced me to go back to all my old blog posts. And I'm a writer, so I'm focused on
Right.
words. So a lot of my blogs had no images, and I've added images to all my, to my. I'm still, I've got I don't know 2,000 old blog posts, so I'm working on it.
Yeah, we have.
I'm going
Yeah.
back and adding images, and it revives the blog post, and it's amazing.
I know we're running over, Charlotte, but I just have one quick question that I'm sure the listeners will want to hear, and that is, what do you use to design your graphics for your posts? I know that I myself a lot of times depend on PicMonkey because it's free, it's real easy just to pull it together real quick. But what tool do you use?
The one I use mainly is Microsoft Word.
Okay.
Ew, I hate Microsoft Word.
Yeah,
I
but
do too, especially with images. But
it was easy for me to use. I learned it
but
quickly
it
as a
works.
graphic one, and then you just snip the image to create an image. But I found a new website that I really like for creating images, but you can't create the long, tall ones very easily, and that's called befunky.com.
Oh,
I haven't heard of that one.
It's a free one, and it really gives you a lot of flexibility. I think it's a lot easier to use than most of the other graphic websites like Canva or PicMonkey or so on that I found out there. So I love using that one.
Well, if you have any other
befunky.com.
tips, sorry, if you have any other tips, the event page will live on, and I hope people who are listening will put more questions on there. And if you would like us to revisit this topic, we'd be happy to. I'm certainly learned a lot today,
And you can learn if you go to that replay of our webinar. The first hour, it's all about content and how to use Pinterest. I would have loved to have shown you those things if I'd gotten my system to work right.
We'll do that next. But did you have a special offer for our listeners? I didn't get a chance to talk to you about that in advance, but.
Well, right now, if they go, they get a big discount on our Real Fast Pinterest program.
Excellent.
If they go to that danielhallwebinars.com/pin replay, there's a special discount. We just launched this program a couple weeks ago, and already one person said 25% of my traffic is coming from Pinterest, where before she had none.
Excellent.
Wow.
Well, a lot of people do respond that to webinars like that and learn well that way. So we will have you back, John, and
That would be great.
And please put, just continue the conversation on the event page, and happy pinning, Thanks for everyone for joining us, and we will talk to you next week, Tuesday at 12. And I need to turn off the camera so I can stop the broadcast.